So here's the last question.
Okay.
Do you like a man to plan a date, or would you prefer he ask you what you'd like to do?
I like a man that listens to me. And, I feel like if you pay attention to what a person is saying, that you're into, when you like someone and you're into them, you pay attention to what they're saying. And you could take a lot out of what they're saying and get ideas from that. You know what I'm saying? It's like just with similar conversations of getting to know a person. Mm-hmm. You could figure that out. When traveling or, like I said, Pinterest, be resourceful. Pinterest
so you're saying you like a little surprise.
I do like surprises.
In the mix. I think she's saying.
But at the same time,
surprise me, but listen when I'm talking about things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And use that as your guide when you plan a date. Am I
You're
in the
right.
ballpark?
You're in the ballpark, but at the same time, we are talking about like the ABC 1, 2, 3 male species that are very black and white. So it's kind of like, yeah, that's what I like. I would love that. That's like an extra perk. But you also got to keep it simple for men. So a little bit of both,
It's so funny.
Plan a date.
My cameraman is like keeping it simple. I see a lot of guys too. You might be surprised how many guys are they seek therapists, and I think guys are a lot more romantic than women give them credit for. And they are willing to put themselves out there if they know that you like them too. It's when I think when they're not sure. Mm-hmm. And again, you guys, we're talking broad strokes. We're not talking for every guy. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about every female.
Yeah.
We're just talking in general. But I get the pleasure of really talking to some interesting guys, mm-hmm. and I get to hear about their dating lives and so forth. And you might be surprised, they have a lot of the same complaints. Like, I planned this great date and she didn't even say thank you. Or I was listening to what she wanted, and when it came down to it, I planned it and then she told me at the last minute she couldn't make it. It's really interesting. I hear like these burns on both sides, and I can't wait till I have a guy who wants to be interviewed. The next person I'm interviewing is a female again, but any guys out there who live in Atlanta who want to be filmed, I could ask you some of these questions. I would love to do it. Feel free to put your name in the comments and your number, and my assistant will reach out to you and we can schedule a time to ask you some of these questions, because I really would love the perspective of a male. And obviously I can't ask my clients to do that because of confidentiality and so forth. So anybody who would love to go on camera, please feel free, especially if you're a dude. Let me hear from you. This is Deanna again. Oh, did you have more?
I did want to add something to that, because I know like the reason why I'm a person that likes for a guy to listen to me and surprise me is because like my dad set that standard in my life. It's like, for instance, when I moved to Atlanta for the first time, it's like my dad knew that like what my favorite color was. And like when I was leaving, I was like, oh, I want to decorate my bathroom XYZ or this color, whatever. And like when I moved, he sent me the whole towel set in that color. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the different things that my dad would do. Like he knows, like he will listen to the things that I say and surprise me with it. Like when I just moved recently, we were on the phone one day and I was looking for a specific sheet set. And I was like, I don't want this. I was being so specific, and we were just having a random conversation. And then I get a notification that I got a package delivered, and it's like my dad sent me something that I was describing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that's my standard as well. That's what I do like, and I know that it is possible to have that. And also, one of my closest friends is like that. He's a guy. And he does that, and he listens, or he pays attention. And like it's funny, like some of like my birthday gifts is like it's something he paid attention to, and it's always just funny. But I know that is possible. But some men are very simple though, and ABC 1, 2, 3, but yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. I do think that dads really do set the standard. That's why dads are so important.
Yeah.
Not only for little girls growing up, but also for boys. And when you said that, I remembered when I got into Columbia, and my dad was so proud, and he was living in DC, and where he lives now, and I was in New York City, and I sent him, it wasn't a text at the time, I think I called him and said, hey Dad, I got into Columbia, and he's like, oh, he was really excited about that. And he literally, the next call I got from him, he was in New York City the same day. He said, I dropped everything and I have to take you out to dinner to just celebrate. And so it was a big deal to me. Yeah, it was really one of the most meaningful things that my dad had done, and it wasn't like, he surprised me.
And that definitely sets a standard, in dating, and just to go back to so many of the things that we've talked about, the relationships that you have with your parents. Even in my parents' divorce, like, I've had a very active relationship with both of my parents, you know what I'm saying? And they have definitely impacted my life. And I'm close to both of them, but I'm super close to my dad. But, and that's also an obstacle when certain men are used to dating certain things, especially when you have a certain standard and they don't want to meet that. So yeah, we could keep going, but
I would love to keep going. Patrick is gonna kill me. He keeps telling me, Chantel, you got to shave down these questions, but I love them. Patrick is a whiz, so he'll just put it in part 1, 2, and 3. I invite you to look at all parts. And thank you for just spending time with us and listening to this about modern dating. It's something that people are confounded about, that they wind up on Tinder or Hinge or OkCupid or The League, any of these sites, and they're like, or eHarmony and what's the other one that's like older people like me? What is it? It's not eHarmony. What's the other one?
Match.com?
Match. I don't know why I couldn't remember, because I'm so used to hearing Tinder, Hinge, it's like
Bumble.
Match. Bumble. My clients are never on Match. It's interesting though, the people that I know that have gotten married, they've been on Match.
I know somebody.
It's kind of interesting that, and they're millennials.
Really?
It's kind of funny that now that we're talking about it. But anyway, this whole thing is it is definitely a mystery to a lot of people, and I thought it was important to just have a conversation to figure out what people want. Deanna is not claiming to speak for all women. She's really just speaking for herself. But I think listening to enough of these may give people some clues around what people want, how they can show up in a date, how they can make themselves vulnerable, how they can maybe even find the partner of their dreams. I really believe it's possible. Remember that I'm Chantel Cohen, and I help you become one again. I'll see you soon.